I'm grooving. Give me a second. Because you can't see me grooving and you can't hear me grooving. And... Okay. Okay? Okay. Okay? Okay. Thank you, Joe Pesci. So, these are the AudioFly 1120s, which are their flagships, IMs. And I've got them plugged into the actual thing that's being reviewed. If you could see it on the desk, because it's so tiny, which is the NANO iDSD Black Label. Get out of there. Oh, it's stuck on a wire. Of course it is. And, let me break it. Let me entirely break it. Hold on. Unplug. Portable battery-powered DAC amp combo from IFI. Now, IFI call this the Nano, and they call the other one the Micro. Apparently nothing is big to them. Everything is tiny. Those don't say like minuscule on them, but that's also IFI stuff. So anything smaller than that, IFI considers portable. And they consider this portable. And while it is the smallest footprint, it is still thick. Double C thick. To compare, I've whipped out my Opoha 2 and the lovely... Hi, Chewbacca. You just sit there and sim race. Fantastic, and half the price of the IFI FIO Q1 Mark II. And you could see that they share, like, the IFI is actually just a slightly smaller square inches, but oh my god. So we're gonna move on past that now for a second, because we're not here to talk about how thick it is with two C's. I'm definitely putting that in the title somehow. We're here to talk about how this sounds. And for $200, which is what this should cost, you could check the link in the description if you want to know exactly what it costs, because it changes. This would probably be, if I could live with the thick, this would be what I attach to my phone. Because fucking IFI does not screw around. Now, let's look at it. Nothing on the sides, nothing on the top, nothing on the bottom. All we have is two outlets in the front, an LED indicator, a volume knob that is also the power, not knurled, smooth, which I'm actually okay in this scenario, and I'll get to it, I guess. The rear has a 3.5mm line out, so you can access the full quality of the DAC built into this with a line out, feed that to another amplifier, a speaker amplifier, or a bigger, badder, actual amplifier. Actually, neither one of these is a DAC, so you could actually feed out to that. And the USB input is that strange male USB-A that's sort of buried, so that you have to use an adapter like this. Which the point of that is, you got an OTG cable, and OTG cables are usually from your phone to this. And I don't have one of those, I realized, for my new phone, which is USB-C. So I would have to get one, and this would plug in here. And it plugs in rather well. Like, that is the most secure connection of a wire to a device ever. You can't fuck that up. You just can't. So I approve of that. It's just unfortunate that it has to exist in like a giant sandwich worth. Blue, so we are connected as a DAC. There's a whole list of the colors. Tell me about the colors, Zeos. Zeos, tell me about the colors. No, that's not the colors. Colors is in one of these. That explains the balance. All right, so blue, even though it's not playing DSD, is DSD 256. This is actually off, so blue must be charging also. Blue is charging. Blue is charging. Chewbacca, blue is charging. Meow. Meow, 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 meow. Okay. So blue is charging because it is actively plugged into this computer. If I turn it on, white is DXD PCM 352. So it's not that. So if I play music, it's still white, I think. Unless it's green. Let's make sure it's actually making sound go. First, I'm going to need... Hi. You very rarely bother me during a review anymore. It's nice. And I will go into the explanation of why and what and how I pulled out some headphones, by the way, that I think most of you would absolutely take on a bus or on a walk to the park or any of those things, because, you know, I know you. I know my fan base. You're all fucking crazy. So, of course, it's going to be Ether C Flows and 2000Xs and Grotto GS1000 Vintage Wood and Fostex TH900 Mark IIs. And Chewbacca, bok. Go. Take a walk. Here. Up. Good girl. You can sit here for the review. So I brought these out as some of the more high-end detailed things that I would ever listen to when I'm really critical with the way they sound. And so look, a little baby battery powered here, plugged into the computer because I don't have the thing for my phone. And we've got, oh, the switch on the back I forgot to mention is between measure and listen, and that's for the filter. And one, I want to get this absolutely, I'm going to read it off the page because it's important. No, not this page. It's just so many pages. There's so many pages of things. Okay, so if you set it to listen, it turns on an advanced minimum phase Beiser filter. And if you set it to measure, it's a standard FIR linear phase filter. And what I can tell you that means is I flip that switch and I can't hear a goddamn thing. If you don't know what those are, odds are when you flip the switch, you wouldn't hear a goddamn thing. But, you know, IFI listens to what people want, and people want a minimum Beiser filter phase Megumin Nendroid level. So there you go. I basically leave it on listen, just because that's what I'm doing, and I understand how they spell that word. So, hooked up USB, Windows 7 machine, had to install a driver, installed it, works perfectly fine. The two outputs in the front, excuse me for a second. Two outputs in the front. We've got IE match and we got direct. Direct gives you access to the headphone amp, which is actually a dual monaural. This is a balanced outputting headphone amp. Except it's a 3.5mm outputting balanced headphone amp, which doesn't exist anywhere but IFI. If you know of 3.5mm balanced headphone cables that you could buy in a store, please tell me about them. If you know of any other units that use 3.5mm balanced, please tell me about them. Because usually, do I have a thingy? I do. I always have a thingy. Usually, there's two ways you could do balanced. One is a 2.5mm, and balanced, by the way, as you could see, if you can even focus on this, standard single-ended has a shared ground pole. This is negative for both left and right. Then there's the right hot, and there's the left hot, and that's it. Balanced breaks apart the ground so that the left and right have two individual. There's an entire PDF that goes over this, which is actually the nicest laid out thing I've ever seen explaining the differences. So bravo to IFI for doing that. If you're gonna force this stuff into my review, thank you for providing beautiful layouts and graphs and little squiggly lines, and here's the solution and how it works, and it's great. I'm happy. Thank you. Problem is, none of my headphones, none of my cables, none of my adapters will work to test this balanced. I'd have to build one myself. I'm pretty sure you'd have to go to like Ursine Audio or wait for Periapt Cable to adopt it as a standard, and I'm pretty sure they're going to do 4.4mm way before they do that. I mean, this is actually the most convenient. This makes the most sense.
So, can you make me a power user?
Oh, God.
No. Why not?
I have to leave. Anyway, I don't blame IFI for wanting to support that format. I would give them full support, because then you'd only need 3.5mm. We're having a 3.5mm and a 2.5mm, and 2.5mm. It's a fragile connection. That is a fragile little baby connection that I feel like I'm going to snap it every time I look at it. And then you go 4.5mm, 4.4mm, and it's a bigger, different connector that no one's even seen. And I have one here. It just, Chewbacca probably has it somewhere. And that's great, better than this, but still a different connector. So a 3.5mm balance is an excellent way to go, simply because I'm plugging a single-ended cable into this, getting it to play, and if I had a balanced version, I could plug that in, and because it's just touching the two back prompts are there, and it's what it's doing. So it's unfortunate that it doesn't exist, but it doesn't exist. I don't have... Of Zeos can make anything work. It would just take soldering to make this balance for any of my gear. So, thanks, but. So, everything I'm testing on is in the single-ended mode. I haven't gone out and built a special cable that will do what you people want to see or don't want to see. And I should really get to the point of why there's two 3.5mm. There's two 3.5mm, because one is direct, which is the full power of the amplifier, which is not the most insane thing. It's like 1/4 watt. Back to specs. Here's specs. Amplifier, dual mono, so it's 2 times 1/4 watt with direct drive and coupling capacitor-free circuit. So 1/2 watt total, which is enough for most things. 1/2 watt is a lot of power. Just putting that out there for headphones. When you get to like super crazy ones that, you know, to sound the absolute best need like 8 watts, you're probably not traveling on the train with those. These, on the other hand, much more portable friendly. So, plug in to the direct, you get the full power. Plug into IE match. That's why I had these in there to start the video, because I didn't want to have to install them to my brain while, you know, we're going on. So these are IMs. IMs are a little bit more sensitive. Essentially, you're looking at a high gain and a low gain, but it's not really a gain, it's more of an impedance matching thing, where very sensitive things, and actually these are probably some of the most sensitive cans. They recommend, if you're trying new things, try it in the IE match first, and then if you can't get enough gain, switch to direct. Because IE match will detect and limit and still give you full range, whereas direct is just, here's headphone amp, go. So let's see how these handle IE match. So I'm at full tilt there, I'm at half gain. Yeah, these are loud. These are 30 ohms, by the way, which is exceptionally low for a headphone. 32 ohms, 30 ohms. And I'm, like, that's a quiet song too. Yeah, oh. I would be absolutely satisfied listening to these headphones through the low impedance or impedance matching or low gain side of the IFI, iDSD NANO. NANO. But let's move on. Something a little bit more demanding. You? No, you. Let's definitely go straight to you. And then we're going to touch you. I thought I'd bring out the Grados for funsies. We'll start you in the IE match side. See what you can do. And then we're going to get to the actual sound quality. Yeah, no. At the very, like, I'm maxed and it's not. Alright, so negative. Pull out. Giggity. Plug in. Now I'm in direct. And there we are at around 2 o'clock. Plenty of power to drive these to the point that I'm satisfied. Oh, she left. Okay. Aladdin OST next. Nine Inch Nails, Meet Your Master, The Faint. Good low end response. Actually, this song has a hum behind it, as if it's an amplifier hum. And it's in the song. And if you know anything about this song, you know that probably drove you mad when you first heard it. Yeah, I have no... Let's move on to something a little bit less demanding. Actually, I wonder if the Grados would need direct or if they'd work better with IE match. They're so wood. Round the bend. More. I miss wearing these headphones for just fun. This is Devo working in the coal mine, just in case. Which is exactly what the kids are all listening to these days, is Devo. Devo's making a comeback. So I'm running these in direct. Let's see how iMatch works. I have the volume all the way down before plugging and unplugging. How do they sound? How do they sound on this amp? DAC. Comparable to anything I have in front of you. How's that? I mean, I praised the hell out of this. I love this thing, and for $100, I don't think you could beat it for $100. For $200, for $200 plus dollars, I'm gonna have a real hard time telling you to buy the Hot 2 over this. Hi, you're a good girl. The only thing that holds me back is form factor. Because you can get this on the back of your phone if you use double stick tape or 3M dual lock or blue tack, otherwise known as fun tack if you get the Loctite brand, and it's okay. This is thick, and you know it. You know it's thick, and not only is it thick, it's thick and doesn't provide you a 1/4 inch input, which nothing portable does. But I would like to see it. I'd rather have like one of these sticking up this much out of this and know that I could, should I get Fostex TX100s or something, just plug directly in without an adapter. I mean, you're talking about, it's IFI, so they're going well beyond what people need portable as far as IM matching and filter selection. So just, it has nothing to do with sound quality. A bigger, this and this, there's no difference. But this will never break. I'm never worried about when I plug into here and yank it in either direction that anything is going to break, because it's a giant 1/4 inch. And I'll just put I'll put a little 1/4 inch adapter in it, and if that breaks, I throw it in the garbage and I get another one for $6. I don't like 3.5 millimeter on most things, and I probably, yeah, that should be fine. That's that playing now. If I plug this in, do not play them both at the same time. I doubt they recommend that. All right, one last thing to test before I give you my finalized thoughts of basically $200. You shitting me? Because this is, I love this thing. The form factor doesn't scream portability. It's small. It's battery powered, although it's basically USB only and then battery powered. So I'm going to go direct. And I'm getting up near, like, basically at 3 o'clock. But oh, it was a really quiet song, and now it's really loud. So now we're on a not quiet song. One Punch Man's Tense. And I'm going to die at halfway. Whoa! Calm. So yeah, I mean, IFI has always had the power. It's I have the power. What does the Oppo offer over this? Form factor's better. I mean, you could say that the battery indicator is cute. Build quality, it's not wrapped in leather. I don't care about that, really. Although I kind of care about it a little bit. No bass, no gain. I mean, you have 2 outputs, so that's good. You get a line out like this does. I think that this might sound at least as good, possibly better, and possibly more power than the Oppo. In fact, I'm going to call it now. more power than the Oppo. I know that because I plugged 600s into both. And I can get the 600s to run at like 90% on this. Just all the way. I get 600 to run on this at less than 90%. There's still more to go. So as far as cheap, buy nothing but the FIO Q1 Mark II. Power on the go, if you're still looking at Mojos, that's fine. I don't want to start that can of worms again. But here. Buy this. I wish it had more IFI switches. I love playing with all the IFI 3D sound and bass boost. So you get a very basic, straightforward, direct outputting with possible balance if you build improbable cables for it. I'm a balanced person. I love pushing things balanced. It's one of my, but it's just I'm not prepared. I'd have to just build an adapter essentially. It's build one adapter, and when I go to talk about the big IFI here, the iCan Pro, well, it's got a balance adapter there, and it also has a 3.5mm balance, just like this does. So I think they're pushing it. They're pushing the line forward of like, look at this, it's different, and no one's got it. I like the idea, but no one's got it. So if you've got $100, you buy this. If you have $200, you buy this. And if you want the actual leather of the Oppo and that, well, then you have to buy an old one because the second edition doesn't actually have leather on it, which is a sadness. And now back to the knob. It sticks. It's like the perfect size knob. Here's where this actually comes in. It's $200. I think it works on a desk. It's got a battery built in. Who cares? You're going to be mostly pushing it off USB anyway. It comes with this wire. Does it come with this wire? It comes with a bunch of stuff. Things and stuff. IFI always comes with things and stuff. I will link to the unboxing of this in the description, simply because I don't feel like digging out and messing up my desk any more than it currently is messed up. Oh, by the way, did you notice the RBH Supreme cable that goes to this adapter, which goes to the... I think this works for a desk almost better than it works portable. $200 is like Madi Magni stack. But then you can pick it up and go. And I'm pretty sure, although this doesn't have the numbers that like a Magni 3 is going to be pushing, there's like a very slim amount of headphones, like 3 I could think about, that would be pushed better on a Magni 3 than by this. And then it's balanced. No one sells the adapter cable. If IFI included an adapter cable, or even sold one for $25, hi Lawrence, include or sell a goddamn adapter cable that does 3.5 balance, break out to 2.5, and break out to full size 4-pin, this would be the most killer desk thing ever. Because look how small it is. You'd be able to just mount it under your desk with like double stick tape, and then FIO E10K or this. Are you shitting me? This by light years. Everything around $200 is now this. It's now this. It makes the most sense. It's only $200. It's only $200. I'm looking for something. Hold on. Yeah, oh, another thing. They print like information on the bottom. On the silver one, that's fine. On the black label, which is the more expensive one that has better components internally, they just change out the capacitors and things like that. They also print it in black on the black bottom. And no. Oh, I wanted to touch on MQA a little bit, because this does support MQA, which if you don't know what that is a title specific, as of right now, only title is supporting it, which is the lossless pay service. But it is a lossy format for streaming. MQA is a lossy format, but it's much higher quality than like MP3, but it's not lossless. So it's this weird middle ground that everyone is jacking off about. And frankly, I don't care. Because if you're going out and you're worried that much, then you're going to have a portable media player with FLAC on it and just going to be lossless. Or you're going to upgrade your phone plan and just be lossless streaming. Because, I mean, I don't know why Tidal doesn't switch from Wave to FLAC. It's free to do that, but they're Wave right now. And anything less than Wave would be better, but they're not going to FLAC, which is like 30% less space. They're going to MQA, which is even less space than that, and now lossy again. So it's basically, they're adding a format that I don't think needs to be added to the entire marketplace. But if you're an MQA believer, please in the comments, just yell at me. Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why MQA is a proven study of why it's better, but it's still lossy. So yes, thank you iFi for sending this. I approve highly. Its form factor is a little tough for like sticking to the back of your phone, but it's a perfect form factor for a desk, for someone going ultra minimalist. If you are going ultra minimalist on your desk, look at this thing. It's adorable. Just put that under any monitor. You could reach the knob right here. It's designed obviously for this, what we're looking at. And it pushes any number of thousands of dollars in headphones perfectly. I have no qualms, except when this wire falls out. There we go. Oh no. In the wild frontier. I mean, this is... let's see, if I shut it off, does it kill that? No. No, it doesn't. Which means it's probably, and I'm going to test this in a very shit-tacular way. Give me a second. I don't want to blow anything up. No? Oh, that's a shame. I was hoping you could actually turn it off and it would still have the DAC running, but it doesn't. So if you're on your desk and you're running this out to a stereo amplifier, such as, you know, SA50 is my old school favorite, SA98, anything, a goddamn big old Onkyo, where's that thing? Then you still have to leave it on, which means it's still running off the battery, which is, I was hoping you could shut that off, shut off the headphones entirely. But I mean, you can lower it down, keep your headphones plugged in, and then have line out. Yes, yes. Links to this thing, links to this thing. I'm going to link to basically, these are it. As of this moment, when I'm recording this, if you need a portable DAC amp for your phone, these are the only two options I give a shit about. The FIO for 100, the iFi for 200. They're both balanced. That one's a weird balance. It's the only difference. This has more power. This has a bass boost and high-low gain and is fucking dead sexy thin and this is a big brutish monster that will also work on a desk. So there you go. It's quite in the middle of where I can understand fully where to put it. I'd love to have it on my phone and have it be this size. But I like to have it on my desk and be at exactly that size. It's perfect for that. So moving on, links to that, this, anything I feel like linking. And the wallpaper, because she's Nano too. Patreon upper right hand corner, yard sales. See these reviews early in case there's only 5 of these, by the way, left on Amazon. So patrons are probably going to pick up all 5 of those. Because for $200 and one of the best portable experiences, to the point where I'm telling you the Hot 2 is now being phased out, yeah, might be worth it.